All right, Algebra 2, Lesson 4.2, Polynomial Operations. Okay. So example 1 here, we are going to add, right, the polynomials. Okay. So one way to do it is to add it vertically. So in example A here, I'll show you how to add these polynomials vertically. So we have 3x to the third plus 2x squared minus x minus 7. And if we're going to add them vertically, what you want to do is you just want to put the other polynomial, or make sure the like terms, they line up with each other. So x to the third minus 10x squared, all right, and then plus 8. Right? So you notice I put the plus 8 underneath the minus 7 because they're like terms. So we don't have anything like terms with the minus x, so there's just a blank spot down here. So then we end up with 4x to the third. Then we have minus 8x squared minus x plus 1. That would be your answer. Okay. Now another way we can add polynomials is by doing it horizontally. So example B here, I'll show you how to add these polynomials, all right, horizontally. So we have 9y to the third plus 3y squared minus 2y plus 1. And then we're going to add, right? We're going to add the second polynomial, which is negative 5y squared plus y minus 4. Okay? And then just find the like terms. Okay? There's nothing like terms with the 9y to the third. Okay? So there's nothing like terms with that. So our answer is going to be 9y to the third, right? Now, the y squares, they are like terms, so that will give us negative 2y squared. The minus 2y and the positive y are like terms, that will give you negative y. Then we have the positive 1 and the negative 4, those are like terms, that gives us negative 3. Okay, and so that's how you would set up the problem horizontally if you wanted to add them. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at example 2 here. So 2a, we're going to subtract now. Okay, I'll show you how to subtract the polynomials vertically. So we have 2x to the third plus 6x squared minus x plus 1. And then we're going to subtract, right, the other polynomial, which is 8x to the third plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 9. Now when we're subtracting, right, we need to remember we need to add the opposite. So what you're going to do is you will change this minus sign to a plus. So we're going to add the opposite, and we have to make all the signs of the polynomial on the bottom the opposite. So this will become a negative 8x to the third, a negative 3x squared, a positive 2x, and a negative 9. And then we just add like we did in example 1. So our final answer will be negative 6x to the third plus 3x squared, and then plus x minus 8. Okay? Now we can also do this horizontally. Okay? So subtracting horizontally, we would have 3z squared plus z minus 4. Then we're subtracting, so we have a minus, right? We have a minus. We're subtracting 2z squared plus 3z. Now, since we're subtracting, what we're going to do is you have to make sure you kind of remember to put this in a parentheses. You have to distribute this parentheses to what's in here. So if we distribute it, think of it as like a negative 1. That'll make that a negative 2z squared minus 3z. So you notice they become the opposite. Okay, so when we distribute this negative 1, it's kind of over here, like over here on the left when we did it vertically, when you add the opposite. Okay, So then we combine like terms now. So you can bring this one down. So these don't change at all. Right? The polynomial on the left. Combine like terms now. So these are like terms with the z squared. That'll give you z squared positive. Then we have the plus z and minus 3z. So it'll be minus 2z. Then we have the minus 4. Okay. All right, example 3 here. So we're multiplying polynomials, okay? Now, whenever you're multiplying polynomials, that's more than a binomial by another binomial, I would like to use what's called the box method. So for example here, this has 3 terms and this has 2. So I would make a 3 by 2 box. So we've got, let's see. So negative x squared here, and a positive 2x and a positive 4. Over here we have x and a negative 3. So I would multiply negative x to the third, 2x squared, 4x. Over here we end up with positive 3x squared, negative 6x, and negative 12. And then just combine all the like terms inside. So we end up with negative x to the third plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 12. All right. Example B, same thing. We've got a 3 by 2. All right, we're multiplying. All right, a polynomial that's 3 terms, and the other one has 2. So I'll make another 3 by 2 box. So I've got 3y squared minus 2y plus 2. Then I have a y and a positive 5. So if I multiply, that's 3y to the third minus 2y squared, positive 2y, 15y squared, negative 10y, and positive 10. So combine all the like terms inside the box. We get 3y to the third plus 13y squared minus 8y plus 10. Okay. Now you're multiplying 3 binomials, right? So we're multiplying x minus 1, x plus 4, and x plus 5. So basically we're doing this. X minus 1 times x plus 4 times x plus 5. Now the order that you multiply these doesn't even matter. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to multiply the first 2. Okay, so I can just FOIL that, right? So that's going to give me x squared plus 4x minus x minus 4, which turns out to be x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so once I have this, I'm going to multiply this with this last binomial, right, the x plus 5. And once again, I have a binomial, right, multiplying with a trinomial, right, so I'm going to make a 3 by 2 box. I think it's just easier that way. Now, if you don't want to use the box and you just want to distribute and combine like terms, that's fine too. Right? I just think the box is easier to organize the information. And we have an x and a positive 5. So I multiply, this would be x to the third, 3x squared, negative 4x, 5x squared, 15x, negative 20. Combine the like terms, so my final answer, x to the third plus 8x squared plus 11x minus 20. All right, so let's take a look at these special patterns that we have here. The first one, you should be familiar with it, right? It's basically the difference of squares in reverse. So if you remember from previous chapters, a difference of squares, for example, 9x squared minus 4. If I factor this, I would end up with 3x plus 2, 3x minus 2, right? So these would be the factors. So now the special pattern is just in reverse. If you see factors like these, right, where they're exactly the same and the only thing different are the signs in the middles, right? So first of all, there's a special name for factors like these. These are called conjugates. So conjugates is when pretty much everything is exactly the same except for just the signs in the middle. One's a plus, one's a minus. Okay, so whenever you see two conjugates, you have to remember that if I multiply them, it will give me a difference of squares. For example, x plus 3, x minus 3, these are conjugates. So I know that if I multiply them, I should get a difference of squares. So that would be x squared minus 9. Okay, so what happens is the middle terms are going to always cancel each other out. When you multiply right here, it gives you the negative 3x. When you multiply here, it gives you the positive 3x. So they cancel, so we don't have a middle term. Okay, so just remember conjugates, when you multiply them, they will give you a difference of squares. Okay, and then down here, remember when I taught you guys how to square binomials, the two patterns, all right? That's basically what we have here. So this is just a quick review of squaring binomials. So we have these two patterns here, okay? So remember the pattern was this. Let's say we have like 2x, right, plus 3 squared. So the answer to this, all right, to get this, remember we square the 2x, so that will be 4x squared. To get the middle, you multiply these two, so 2x times 3, that's 6x, and then you multiply that by 2. Okay, so that would be 12x. And to get the last part, you square the positive 3, which would be positive 9. Okay, and it works the same way if it's a minus sign in the middle. Let's say, for example, 5x minus 2 squared. To get the first part of our answer, we square the 5x. That's 25x squared. To get the middle, you multiply these two, right, the 5x and the negative 2. That gives you negative 10x, and then multiply that by 2. So negative 10x times 2 is negative 20x. And then you square the negative 2, which will give you a positive 4. Okay? Remember, anytime you square something, right, you're going to come up with a positive answer.